It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Kedoshim. The question is, what is God's desire? So in this week's Torah lesson, Parsha Kedoshim, we learn about an interesting law. The Torah tells us that when you come into the land of Israel and you plant a fruit tree, so the Torah says, for the first 3 years that the tree is growing and it produces fruit, you're not allowed to have any benefit from the fruit. That belongs to God. The 4th year, you're allowed to take the fruit, take it up to Jerusalem, and benefit from it in Jerusalem. The 5th year, that's when it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can eat it, you can sell it, it's yours. But what's interesting is, and the Rebbe points out, that the Torah says that when it comes to the 5th year, the year that it's yours, you can use it, you can sell it for commerce, whatever you want. The Torah says that will add to you tremendous blessings. So Rebbe asked, the first 3 years where you're giving it totally to God, it doesn't say anything about a blessing. The 4th year where you're doing it for God, but you're still allowed to eat it in Jerusalem, no blessing. Where's the blessing? In the 5th year and on, when you're allowed to have it for yourself. So the Rebbe explains exactly. Because we know the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya that, and I'll say it in Hebrew, Nisava HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God had a desire. And we know when there's a desire, there's no question. It's not a logical thing. God had a desire for what? God wanted to have a dwelling place in a place which is translated as on the bottom meaning spiritually on the bottom, where God is not felt. And God wanted to create a place where He will not be felt. God will not be a reality. But we will say, true, I don't see God. And God may not be a reality. I see physical things, but I'm going to say, Baruch Hashem. Thank God, because God, you created this place. You created everything in here. And by me saying Baruch Hashem, by me making a blessing on physical things, by me doing things, or by anybody doing things that makes God a reality and makes God revealed, that is exactly what God desired. So therefore the Rebbe explains, in the first 3 years, when you're not touching it, hey, why aren't you eating it? Oh, because there's a God in the world. So that's not yet a sign that God is really here. God told you not to eat it. In the 4th year, when you're eating it in Jerusalem, so again, you're eating something in Jerusalem in a holy place. Comes the 5th year and on, you're not eating it. You're not only eating in Jerusalem, you're eating it wherever, and you're maybe doing business with it. But you're doing business in a kosher way. And when you're eating it, you're making a blessing before and afterwards. That is creating the real desire of God to be actualized. And in the 5th year and on, that's when you can create the biggest blessings, because godliness is not apparent. Since you're allowed to use it for yourself and you're making sure that God gets recognized, that's why all the blessings will come there. So to answer the question, what is God's desire? God's desire is in the most mundane and simple things, where God is not necessarily revealed, we should stop and say Baruch Hashem, and we should recognize God and His greatness. This week's Torah lesson was dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated by this Torah we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information about Chabad, please see our website.